with their bodies. This is nothing new, but young women have become more and more insecure since the advent of social media. Something is always too big, too small, too thin, too fat, too little, too short, too long, or too much. On Instagram and platforms like it, those who are judged to be the most beautiful are rewarded with the most likes, emojis, and clicks. Hours spent on mobile phones fuel mutual comparisons and evaluations. Young women tend to focus a lot on what they are not or do not have, and they feel inadequate.
We cannot escape the power of images.
Of course it's causing insecurity, especially among women and young girls. It affects men too, but I think with all these pictures, social media are causing people to feel more insecure.
In our society, you can only be too thin or too fat. You can never fit in. I feel beautiful the way I am now. I feel comfortable, charming, and attractive. Being a woman isn't easy.
Pressure on women is also higher because the female body has been central to the formation of women's identity for centuries.
Der Austragungsort der Identitätsbildung von Frauen ist. Also es ist kein ganz neues Phänomen.
It's not a completely new phenomenon, of course, but social media has certainly amplified the issue.
Intensivierung dieser Thematik.
We are dealing with young people who aren't fully settled in their identity yet. These things have a particularly strong effect on them. I think we're facing a real problem, and there is no simple solution.
I haven't always felt comfortable in my body, but I've always been very interested in fashion. I used to pay a lot of attention to the media, and I bought into its ideal of beauty. My body just never fit into that mold.
When
real people compare themselves with these norms, most of them fall short and think they're not beautiful enough, or not thin enough, or not toned enough, or not this enough, or not that enough. And because the whole social media hype started on platforms like Instagram, people started thinking that not only supermodels look that way, but normal girls too.
Ein Supermodel so aus, sondern auch normale Mädchen. Mirror, mirror on the wall, ruthless to your victim, suiting you becomes my law. Tied to my reflection. Ich habe Instagram für Thinspo.
I used Instagram for Thinspo. That's Thinspiration.
Ich habe mir ganz viele
I looked at a lot of photos of extremely slim models. There's even the hashtag Thinspo. It's all about very skinny people posting pictures of themselves to encourage others to lose even more weight, to work out even more, and to eat even less. I'd wake up in the morning and the first thing I'd do was look at pictures of thin models on Instagram. But they weren't just models. They were also normal girls. Just normal girls with anorexia.
Skinny. All these voices singing. Skinny. All my monsters singing. Skinny. Got to fit that new bikini.
That pursuit of perfection to fit an ideal image can become destructive. Then my behavior becomes compulsive. I feel forced to make myself prettier, to improve myself. Many speak of an inner voice. Some even call it a dictator who forbids them to do things. It's no longer a choice, but an order to follow.
Das, was sozusagen als Reaktanz erfolgt, ist eine
Many young people respond to that with depression.
Das Unbewusste wird gefüttert.
Their subconscious is fed with all these messages, and that settles into their thoughts like a sediment of sadness because they can't achieve what they desire.
Menschlich ersehnt wird.
Once I spent the night on the bathroom floor because it had floor heating, and I was freezing. I had no strength left. My hair was falling out. That has nothing to do with beauty of feeling good. You don't feel good just because you're really skinny. Your entire quality of life suffers from being that thin. I wouldn't eat anything for months, only when I felt dizzy. That's when I realized I couldn't do this anymore. Something had to change. I had to go to therapy.
Ich muss was ändern, ich muss eine Therapie machen.
Der Versuch, sich an das Schönheitsideal anzupassen, kann
Any attempts to conform to beauty ideals are bound to fail. When I work with my patients, I tell them that if my image of myself isn't correct, then I don't need to change myself to fit that image. I need to adapt my image to fit my personality. These girls are trying to fit their self-image, and if that doesn't work, it's because that image is too far removed from reality. I started following body-positive influencers on social media instead, and deleted a lot of superwaves from my Instagram feed. Female role models are very important, especially for young girls. The question is, which ones do I choose? Do I choose people who are beautiful and successful, like Beyoncé or Madonna? They might seem out of reach. Or do I choose role models closer to me, who are more attainable and who can inspire me to realize more of who I really am?
Von denen ich auch was mir holen kann und selbst verwirklichen kann.
Now Instagram helps me feel more comfortable with myself. Now I follow a lot of people who have the same body type as I do, or are plus size. It helps to see their photos and see how pretty they are, and to know they have a similar build as mine and are still attractive. Then I look in the mirror and feel beautiful again.